Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited for today's video. It is going to be my quarterly spring Shop My Stash. So you guys haven't seen a Shop My Stash on my channel at all yet in 2021. I got way behind on my Shop My Stash series and I took January to kind of just play around with my makeup collection, and then February was kind of a blur, and now we are in March and I do want to pick up my Shop My Stash series, but I want to do it a little bit differently on my channel this year, and I'm going to be doing a quarterly Shop My Stash where I have products that I want to focus on for that entire quarter. So right now I have a bunch of spring products, and then at the end of June I will swap these, March, April, May. At the end of May, I will swap these products out for summer products to focus on for the summer, etc. So I am really excited to share these products with you, and then starting next Sunday, I will begin my bi-weekly Shop My Stash. So I will be swapping those products out bi-weekly, but the products I'm sharing with you today, I'm going to be focusing on for the next 3 months and see if I can get good use out of them. Many of these products kind of remind me of spring or just give me spring vibes. So I'm really excited to share them with you today. If you're interested in seeing what I have chosen out, stay tuned. First, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel and you like project painting content, or you just like to chit chat about makeup, stay tuned. I'm rusty filming. I would love if you'd consider subscribing to my channel, and other than that, let's just get into the Shop My Stash. All right, you guys, if you are new to my channel, this is like my standard video disclaimer. I love an obnoxious self-tan, and we self-tan today, so the face probably doesn't match the body because we're like developing into a splotchy self-tan that you guys, if you are not new, have come to just hopefully grow and appreciate here on my channel. The never-ending saga of what's Steph gonna look like today? What's her tan gonna look like? Is it gonna be, you know, did she wear a mitt? Is it like her neck is one color, her body is like half one color, half another? If you guys are easily annoyed by bad self-tans, this won't be the place for you. Okay, glad we were able to get that out of the way. Now I have this large basket of products to share with you guys. I went a little bit buck wild, especially with the blushes, because I just couldn't decide, but I have a ton of products that just kind of put me in the mood for spring. It is gonna be like 50s this week in Minnesota, and I'm sure it'll snow the next week, but there are definitely gonna be some sprinkled in days of spring here in March, and again, I will be focused on all of these products for the next 3 months. I'll try and go in some sort of order here, and please keep in mind I am also working on various different project pans, so I have products throughout my projects that I'm working on, and then every couple of weeks I will cycle through other products throughout my makeup collection. I think my bi-weekly Shop My Stash, I am going to try and I'll pick a bronzer, and then 2 weeks then I can't use that bronzer again until I've used all the other bronzers in my collection. I'm thinking about doing something like that. That's beside the point. Let's get into the products I've selected. I can't speak today. First up, my primer. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow Instant Soft Focus Beauty Flash Primer. I don't really care for this primer all that much, and I'm thinking about throwing this in to my Rolling Project 10 pan when I finish the primer that I'm working on in that project. So I figured I would get a head start and start to use this. Now this does have a bit of a glow to it. I'm obviously not going to swatch every product for you guys, but I'll kind of see, when I swatch this, I think it's like super beautiful, but then on the face it's just really nothing special, and this was a very expensive primer, so I don't want to not get my money's worth out of this. I mean, even if I use this whole tube up, I don't necessarily think it was worth like the $55, but I do want to use this before it goes bad, so I'm gonna get a head start on this. Again, I think I'm gonna end up rolling this into my Rolling Project 10 pan, but this is pretty full, so we have a lot of primer to use. All right, I have 3 different foundations that I've selected. This might be a little bit overkill, but I just couldn't help myself, and I have a lot of foundations that I need to get through. So up first, I have the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. I really enjoy this foundation, and this is just a really nice shade match for me when I have a little bit of a self-tan. So I figured that this would be a good one if I'm trying to just wear this on its own. It has pretty good lasting power, and it's been a little bit since I've reached for this. Then I'm also going to try and get more use out of my Rare Beauty foundation. This is a really nice thin consistency, but my shade is way too light for me even when I'm really like, even when I'm like at my fairest, I feel like this shade does not work for me. So I am gonna use this as a mixing foundation. Right now I'm working on my Tarte Tinted Hydrator, the Maracuja Tinted Hydrator in my whole collection project pan, and these two mix really nicely together. I tried the combination the other day and I liked it. So I do wanna try and get some more use out of this. So I have decided to throw that in. And then I also am grabbing for my Tarte Found Sealer. So my packaging is broken on this, which is, it's really annoying to use. Maybe now it's not broken. Anyway, it's annoying to use, and the last time I used this, I wasn't like a huge fan of how this looked on my skin by itself. So again, I think I will try to use this as a mixer, and I really just want to decide whether or not I think that this is worth keeping in my collection. I'm probably going to be doing a declutter at the end of March before I do my quarterly makeup inventory. So I want to use this and decide whether or not I want to keep it or get rid of it. So I'm not sure that this one will make it through all 3 months of the spring. If I end up deciding that I like it, if I end up deciding I like it, I literally can't speak today, then I'll keep it around. But I'm really just tossing this in because I want to decide if it's going to stay in my collection. Oh, whoops, I forgot I had another fourth foundation. I have the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is expired, I believe. Therefore, the SPF 50 is like, I can't rely on it. And this is my favorite foundation for the summertime if I know I'm going to be out in the heat. So I know I'm going to be replacing this when we reach like May or June. So I would just like to finish this up. I don't have too much left. I say that, but I probably do actually have a lot left. I actually wore this quite a bit in February because I was really starting to focus on this. So I just want to continue to use this because I know I'm going to end up replacing this, and I don't want to like replace it without this being done, but I also can't rely on this for the sunscreen. And I do like to rely heavily on this for the sunscreen. I also add an SPF, but I like to also have the additional SPF 50. These next two products are kind of like primer hybrids, but I am just going to throw in my Drunk Elephant De-Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops. I love to mix this in with my foundation when I feel like it's not a good shade match, or I like to mix it in with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Filter when I have a little bit of a self-tan and this is a little bit light so that my face isn't matching my body. Not that that ever really bothers me, clearly. But I'll mix these two together to make this a little bit deeper. I also plan to test out my Auric products throughout the month of March. So if I need to mix it to shade match, then I will have these. I don't have a ton of powder in my collection. It's nothing overwhelming, but I did pick a loose and a pressed powder, and I'll probably just focus on these for the next 3 months. So when we do my Shop My Stash every 2 weeks, I don't necessarily know that I will be pulling in any powders unless for some reason these just are not working for me. But both of these are repurchases, so I have a feeling they're going to work for me because I obviously repurchased them because I like them. Up first, I have the Glossier Water. I love this powder. It's really nice and lightweight. It doesn't make my skin look cakey. It doesn't make my skin feel heavy. It's just a really nice powder. And then I also have my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Powder. I was recently testing out the No. 7 powder, which I do think is a very comparable dupe to this. So for me, I'm comfortable just going with the No. 7 going forward because it is so much less expensive than this one. But this is newer to my collection. I repurchased this in the November VIB sale, I believe. So newer to my collection. This powder does go pretty quickly if you consistently use this. So I have a feeling when we roll this out in 3 months, I assume I'll roll it out in 3 months when we repick my products for the summer, but I have a feeling we should have pan on it by then, which will be really exciting. For my bronzers, I picked 1 cream bronzer and 2 powder bronzers. It's been a little bit since I've reached for my Milk Makeup Baked Bronzing Stick. I really enjoy this all year round, but this one had been the least used out of all my cream bronzers, so I decided to grab this. And then I also am going to grab my Kosas bronzer in the medium shade. This is not my favorite bronzer. It is definitely more glowy, and I'm also working on my Hourglass bronzer in Luminous Bronze Light in my whole collection project pan, but this is definitely something that I will get the most use out of in the spring summer months, so I figured it would be a good time to roll this in or to work on it. And then I also grabbed my Nabla Skin Bronzing in the shade Ambra. I just recently reviewed this, and I'm just not ready to put this away. This is another one that's not like a totally matte bronzer, but it's really beautiful. It's not as warm as the Kosas one, and I really think that this will be beautiful all year round, but mostly I just wasn't ready to be done with this one. It's such a nice bronzer. If you guys have been eyeing this, I highly recommend it. Okay, I'm looking down at all of the blushes I've selected, and I didn't realize how many blushes I actually grabbed. So this is going to be really excessive, and I feel like maybe I should cut it down by a few. Just one moment. I almost forgot the concealer while I was trying to figure out what blushes I'm gonna keep and put back for a little bit. I forgot I have one concealer that I am going to roll in for the next 3 months. This is another one I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to keep this in my collection. This is the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer, and this is honestly just heavier than I'm looking for in a concealer. I feel like now with the masks, I really notice which concealers like crease on me and how they look when they're creased, and because this is such a full coverage concealer, I just feel like when it starts to crease, it just is very creasy. And also, so I used this the other day and didn't get an eye reaction, but it has, I don't know if, I feel like this smells a little bit like paint thinner, and I can't remember if it smelled like that when I purchased this or if I feel like this is going bad. So let me know in the comments, do you feel like if you own this, it smells a little bit like paint thinner? It like has like a coconut scent almost, but then like mixed in with paint thinner. I don't know, you guys. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to keep this. I feel like it would be such a commitment to use this up, and I honestly just have other concealers I prefer over this one. So I figured if I focus on this for a good couple of weeks, I would be able to decide then if it's something like I want to declutter or keep working on. Okay, and then I cut my blushes down by some, but I still have a lot here. So I have actually quite a few cream blushes. It's been a while since I have used my little mini Nude Sticks Sweet Peach Peony, and actually I should throw this into a project. That's how much I have left. I should end up throwing this into a project at some point, so may as well get a head start. This is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful blush. I don't know if I would purchase this in a full size or not when I finish it. I used to think I would, but I'm just not 100% sold because now I feel like my blush collection is even more out of control, and I don't know. But it is beautiful, and I should have no problem using this. I'm also going to toss in my Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Puff. This is a really beautiful pink shade. I'm going to continue to work on my, I just finished, if you couldn't tell, I just finished filming a Project Pan update. I feel like I'm speaking about these products as if they're in a project, but they're not in a project. But I'm going to have this in my Shop My Stash for the spring. I also just recently reviewed my Rare Beauty Nearly Neutral Cream Blush in my February, like speedy reviews, whatever. It wasn't a speedy video, it's 30 minutes long. This is super beautiful. So here it is swatched right here. It's a really, really beautiful blush, and this is another one similar to that Nabla bronzer. I'm just not ready to put this back yet, so I want to just continue to use this. And then I also am popping in my Fenty Cream Blush in Petal Poppin'. This is just such a spring shade in my opinion, and I'm really excited to reach into this again. I've been focused on my Fenty Glow and Fenty Rose Latte the last couple of months. Oh, that just like gives me all of the spring feels. So I'm so excited about this. I personally really enjoy this cream blush formula. I feel like this was really hit or miss on whether or not people liked it or not. I am a fan. Okay, and then I have this. This isn't necessarily like a powder blush, but it's not, I don't know what you would consider this. This is from MAC. Probably a cream blush. Now maybe I'll get how to use it better. This, I feel like the more you use it, the easier it becomes to use. The first few times I used this, I was like, I don't know how to apply this. I should try it with my finger next time. So there is this MAC Glow Play blush in the shade Cheer Up. There it is. Super beautiful. Kind of reminds me of the Fenty Petal Poppin', but this is just even a little bit more pinky. That's so pretty. I'm so excited to reach into this now. Shoot, now I feel like I need another color of that. I need to get it to work on my cheeks before we do that. I've struggled in the past. I'm also rolling in my Ciate London Date Night blush. This actually looks like a blush that would probably be something that I would reach into more in the winter time, but it kind of gives me, I've swatched that over something. It has almost, it's not coming across at all on camera. In person, it almost has this like coral, this coraliness to it. And I feel like this, I don't know, I just feel like I'm wanting to reach for this. So we're gonna pull that in. I also wanted to grab one of my Hourglass blushes, and I grabbed the shade Diffuse Heat, which is this really, really light baby pink. I don't know if you'll even be able to see that swatched. It's a little bit more cool toned since I don't really have any cool tone blushes. And then I couldn't not reach for Becca Flower Child, which again, so sad that Becca is closing their doors in September. It really like makes me like a little bit more nostalgic over my Becca products now, but I love Flower Child. I'm sure you guys have seen this blush a million times over, but it is such a pretty blush for the springtime, and I'm really excited to reach into this. Before we get into the highlighters, I also have two face palettes because clearly I need more blush. But these do have highlighters in them too. So it's been a little bit since I've reached into my NARS Overlust palette. This was limited edition and I don't think you can get this anymore, but I love this face palette. And when I was looking through all of my drawers trying to decide what products, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need this. The blushes are so beautiful and the highlighters are a little more creamy to the touch, kind of like a ColourPop Super Shock. And they are definitely more, they're not as intense on the cheeks, which is definitely what I have been looking for these days. So I'm actually really excited to reach back into this. And then I decided to also throw in my Natasha Denona Love Glow palette. I usually just reach into this for the actual face, for the Glow Cream Base liquid, or sorry, cream blush. But sometimes when I play around with pink eyeshadow, I will use these in the inner corner. It sounds really weird, but this, especially on the inner corner, I love. And I have a bunch of pink eyeshadow palettes on deck for me to be testing. So I thought this would be a good one. Sometimes I reach into this for an inner corner highlight or occasionally a face highlight as well. So these are the two face palettes I selected. All right, and then I just have three highlighters to wrap it up with. Up first, I have my Glossier Halo Scope highlighter. So this is another one I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it. And I like this one because it is a little bit more subtle, even though it doesn't necessarily look subtle there, dang. But there, you blend it out and it's pretty subtle. This is hard to use because I feel like it really kind of drags a little bit, and I don't like, I don't know, I just get annoyed when I have to do this and then like tap it on. I don't know, could be the lazy part of me, but I also feel like this could be really pretty in the summer, so maybe I will just end up keeping it. We'll see. That could be really pretty. And I also have been going to the gym a little bit more, so this could be my gym highlight because I believe I decluttered my Milk Makeup highlighter last year. I can't even remember if I decluttered that, but I'm pretty sure I did. So maybe this will be my gym highlight. Again, this is one I figured if I used it consistently for a month or two, I could make an easier decision on whether or not I should keep this in my collection. My ABH Amrezy, when I want to go for a blinding highlight, I am wanting to reach into this. I just absolutely adore this highlight. I recently purchased and reviewed the ABH Iced Out highlighter, and it just doesn't compare to this in my opinion. I like this one so much more, and using the Iced Out highlighter made me like lust after this one, and I was like, I want to reach for that. And then also, it's been a little bit since I've reached into, no, this is a bronzer, whoops. Did I really only pick out two highlighters? Hold on, I'm gonna go grab like one more highlight. Okay. I'm a mess, you guys. I also would love your feedback. When I do my summer Shop My Stash for the like quarterly, do you wanna see me shop through my drawers? Do you want me to do it like this style? I'll shop through my drawers during my bi-weekly Shop My Stashes, but I would love to know, do you wanna actually see me physically shop through my drawers for my quarterly ones? I'm going to grab my Laura Geller Charming Pink highlighter. I should have grabbed my Laura Geller highlighting palette actually, now that I think of it, but oh well, I can grab that in a bi-weekly. Shop my stash. I don't have any pink highlights, so, and it's been a while since I've reached for that, so this is gonna be my pink highlighter. And then this is another one I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to keep this. This is my Bare Minerals Invisible Glow Powder, and you can use this kind of like the Hourglass veil like setting powders or finishing powders, but it is, I think this could be a really beautiful like subtle glow. Okay, I'm running out of space to swatch. Can you see that right there? It's really subtle. It's too much for all over the face, in my opinion. It's too much. But I never reach into this for a highlighter either. So maybe if this is in my Shop My Stash for the next few months, again, it'll make my decision easier on whether or not I want to keep this. Let me just pop this on my shoulder over that halo scope. I mean, I could try and get better at repurposing products this summer and like actually highlighting my body a little bit more. Will I even be going out this summer? Who knows? I mean, there's a bar and grill down the street that we could walk to. We live in like a very small suburb of the cities, like very close to like largely populated suburban areas, but our actual, like, I call it a town. I think it's actually a town. What is the difference between a town and a city? I honestly don't know. Anyway, very, very small where we actually live. And I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, if I were to like actually like highlight my body to walk to this bar and grill that's really close to us, very good food. Very good food, but if I were to come there all highlighted up, people would probably look at me like I'm a weirdo. Anyway, I'm rolling these two in. That's where I was going with that thought. And then back to the NARS. I forgot I wanted to roll in my NARS Laguna bronzer for a matte bronzer. And this is another one. I kind of need to decide, do I want to keep this or do I not? I feel like this is one that's always on my chopping block for like, am I going to declutter this? And then I just can't get myself to declutter it. So I need to use this consistently for a little bit and make a decision. I had a little bit of a casualty in the corner here. A little bit of this broke, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll see. Is this one going to stay or is it going to go? So I am really excited to recap with you guys in 3 months. Well, yeah, recap with you in 3 months, but I may declutter a few of these products sooner than that. If I decide I want to declutter them, maybe I won't declutter anything. We shall see. Again, I would love your feedback in the comments below. Do you want to see me actually physically shop through my drawers for my next quarterly update? Would love to know. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to watch today's video and for supporting my channel. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.